We are still picking up the pieces after the hurricane, and this is another thing that got ruined. Welcome to the hippie geeks. Let's get the Spider Farmer G12 indoor hydroponic grow system fixed up better than ever and get another grow going. It really is amazing how much of the Spider Farmer gear survived getting absolutely drenched in the hurricane, and it is time to get the G12 fixed up and start some new seedlings in it. First up, I made sure to check the connection points that transfer power from the base to the water tank, as this is something that can get corroded if exposed to water and air for any length of time. There was a little corrosion there, and while it would have probably still worked, I went ahead and got it cleaned up for the next round of grows. I had already turned this on to check if it was still working before going forward, as I want to make some changes to the setup, and I was happy to see it was still going. Next up, I went ahead and put the water tank back onto the base, and while I was at it, I went ahead and cleaned it out as best I could. This is a step that needs to happen between every grow, as nutrients and organics can get deposited all over this thing over the course of a couple of months. Once that was all cleaned up, it was time to get the biggest upgrade put in here, a small aquarium water heater. If you watched any of our other videos on the Spider Farmer G12, you will remember that we have had some issues with germinating some of the seeds. Looking back on everything, I am pretty sure that the biggest issue we were running into was the fact that the water temperatures were likely too cold for some of the seeds. None of our spaces have any heating or cooling, which means that the water temperature in here is going to pretty closely match the ambient air, and seeing as how we were getting down into the mid-50s a lot, especially at night, that meant that our environment in there wasn't exactly great for starting seedlings. What this little heater is going to let me do is set the temp to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which should really help with the germination of the seeds. Once everything is started, I am going to go ahead and pull the heater back out of here, as I don't want to let the roots start wrapping around the heater, which could lead to some issues. It will just give me a little bump in the germination of seeds, especially as we are past summer now, and things are just going to keep getting colder. What this means, however, is that I am going to need to run the power cord out of the water tank, and I cut a notch into both the lid and the orange cap that goes on the water fill that gives just enough room for the power cord to exit the tank without leaving such a big hole that water will be able to splash out. With that taken care of, all I need to do is get it plugged in and make sure it will actually warm the water up without boiling the roots. Before that, however, I need to get the upgraded shroud back in place. Well, I am not sure if it qualifies as an upgrade, but I am switching back to using the shiny side of the tinfoil instead of the white panda film that we had on here before. I will be checking out the par levels again with a flat tinfoil surface, as the ghetto one that was all crumpled seemed to work better than the panda film, and I want to know if that was a fluke or not. I also made it quite a bit more sturdy, as the last version was very floppy and would try to fall off all the time. A final version will actually go from the shelf up instead of sitting on the water tank. That way I can pull the tank to clean it without messing with the shroud at all. With all of that said, here is what the unit looks like set up inside the studio again. Everything is hooked up, the water tank is full, and I have just put in a new set of plugs to grow my seedlings in. I think that this setup is going to work so much better than the last one, and I am really excited to get the recording set up. Speaking of that, here is how I am going to set up the GoPro to record everything this time, which should work out a little better than the last setup and should be far enough away to actually not be blurry. That is the hope anyways, and the nice part about having it all on the shelf like this is that I can just move the camera further back if I need to, which will let me dial everything in completely. I am super excited to get the Spider Farmer G12 back up and going with a new set of seedlings, and I am even more excited to see if the aquarium heater actually works and keeps the water warm. I need to look and see if I still have more of those seeds that were having so much trouble germinating, as it would be a really great comparison to see if they really were just not going to germinate, or if the issue was the water temperature all along. A big thank you to Spider Farmer for sending over the G12 indoor hydroponic grow system, and if you want to check out this unit or any of their other gear for yourself, make sure to click on the links to their website in the video description down below and use the discount code GEEKS at checkout to get 8% off your entire order.